Va salute. This is Troy Pacelli of Last Call, and I'm just here to let you know that the following live stream is rated R for adult language, highly inappropriate jokes, and oh, who the are we kidding? We have no idea what is going to come out of Gorilla's mouth. Viewer discretion is advised.
Gorilla kicks it off with a verbal grenade. No filter, no brakes, just truth unafraid. Dachshund needs him, he's shooting straight, dropping hot takes at a rapid rate. Mikey rolls in with a file so thick, knows your features, origin, and the politics. History buff with a dev's sixth sense, quoting gyro like it's self-defense. It's Friday, we're bruised but alive, barely sane but we still survive. Push that merge, don't ask how. The Waltons on this circus now. PvP with a smile and a sucker punch, slides and jokes with a logic crunch. Laughs mid-load, chaos contained, but that last line of code, you're getting flamed. Then there's Germ with a side-eye glare, cynical takes floating in the air. Nice commit, he lies through his teeth before suggesting a rewrite underneath. It's Friday, we're bruised but alive, barely sane but we still survive. Push that merge, don't ask how. The Waltons on this circus now. So here's to bugs, banter and brawls, to teammates who roast while catching your falls. Same time next week, yeah, we'll be back, shipping dreams on a caffeine track.
And hello, everyone, and welcome to another Waltons Review, where we're reviewing Season 5, Episode 1, the first edition, where we find out that later on in life, John Boy changes his name to a fellow we all dearly love, Hugh Hefner, and this is where Playboy actually gets its start. And how's everybody doing tonight?
Not too bad.
Good, Gorilla. Yeah.
Not too bad. I got my work.
Well, for me, I gotta say, and I especially like to apply it at work. You be the reason, but you be the change, and by that, I'm the reason that they're gonna be having some policy changes at work.
Congratulations.
Now what happened? What did you do now, Gorilla?
When everybody starts laughing at the table there, all the boss doesn't even have to look anymore. You know exactly whose mouth was started opening. It said something.
Uh-oh.
You're going to be an HR poster soon enough.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna be the one giving pointers on the video, on the sexual harassment video.
Oh, you mean on the sexual harassment videos? You're going to be the guide? Oh, that.
No, I'll be the one pointing out. You might want to change this a little bit. You know.
No, you're going to be the one.
I see a loophole here. I see a loophole. There,
A loophole.
Let's go ahead and say hi to the chat. Welcome, FTC 2005. And Mike, you want to read this one so I don't have to explain what this is to my kid?
Yeah. Well, I came by and Tim says, in this week's episode, Grandma and Grandpa Walton go to an orgy at Ma and Pa Kettle's farm.
Yeah. And demonetized.
There you go. I said it's finally happened. We've corrupted Tim. How are you, sir? That's what I said to him.
Yeah, I know you did. I was already corrupted. Had a day off, so that's good. Well, glad you had the day off.
Yeah, that's a good thing there.
And hey, Suzanne, how's it going? Welcome.
Hello, Suzanne.
Hey, Suzanne.
And hey, Scooby, you're on time tonight. Let's say you added to his character corruption level, Mikey.
I did.
Hi, Suzanne. Hi,
I
Lemon.
said, oh my God, I probably did.
Do we have to go back to the clip? I was gonna say we have to go to the clips there.
Yeah.
Everybody saying hello.
That'd probably be
Hello.
better not to. Those are FBI evidence.
Okay. All right, we'll call it.
Hi, Suzanne.
Yeah. Show us the dollar girl said he was that big.
Oh man!
Oh,
Wow.
Alrighty. So
it's my fault.
I don't want to hear about your poll.
I said it's my fault. It's my fault.
Oh, I thought you said that's my poll.
No, I said it's my fault. Poor Tim. Poor Tim, it's my
Oh
fault.
jeez.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
So
That's
This was
here.
this was already starting out in the gutter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
already
okay.
we're already demonetized.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
so
who gives a shit?
I believe
Yeah.
that in our family, all of us children were sparked to do our best, whatever we tried, for two reasons. There was the personal satisfaction we felt, of course, but just as important, we knew that the whole family could take pride in the success of any one of us. But then a day came when I had to face the fact that a goal I had set for myself was threatening to disgrace and divide the family. Oh, for a little over dramatic there. I say, sir, that he was being just a tad bit over dramatic.
I think he was.
So the first thing we noticed in this episode that they started something new for season 5 is where they started doing those little clips at the beginning from the middle from parts of the episode, like drama
Yeah.
clips. You know, to try to get people hooked. I don't know how I feel about it
Stingers.
yet. Yeah, stinger. I don't know how I feel about it.
So they have like a little intro. Yeah, I remember those now, come to think of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just them. It was the back into the 70s. That's when those started getting popular.
I think it was. Wasn't it also during like Little House on the Prairie? Those kind of film or series that were doing the same thing. There was like coming up on Little House on the Prairie and all this other stuff.
Yeah, it is pretty much everything that was started to do that come 76, 77, 78.
Yeah,
and hey,
I know Wonder Woman did it.
Yeah,
I know Wonder Woman did
it continued for a long time because I remember when Buffy the Vampire Slayer used to do that at the beginning of episodes. Last week on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
And hey, Sit Dan, how's it going?
Hey, Sit Dan.
All right,
Hey, Dan.
so get the beautiful scene there. Oh, look at the cute little duckies. So,
Aww, how cute.
So we're just gonna you'll see here that John Boy has to walk on a walking stick here. Now they'll explain it here in the next scene once he gets to town there that he wrecked it on a motorcycle there, which I can't remember which movie he was working on. Mikey, maybe you can look that up. But he actually he actually wrecked a motorcycle in another movie that he was starring in, and he broke his ankle, and therefore he couldn't walk on it. So therefore, they explained the walking stick as he got into a motorcycle accident. That's kind of like as a poke and prod at his accident there, and also explain away the walking stick in season 5.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, he's gonna have the cane for most of the. According to what Judy Norton told me, he was gonna have it for most of the episode.
No, he's gonna have it for quite a few episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has it for like half. I believe a little over half of the season. I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hear it. Okay, so guys, if you want to hear it, it says Richard Thomas's foot injury was real. He fractured his ankle filming a motorcycle scene for the movie September 30th, 1955, which came out in 1977. later on. That movie came out. So while he's filming that movie, he hurt himself and fractured his ankle. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. So they're heading to Rockfish, and that explains why Ben's driving. Because Richard Thomas can't drive a car like that with an ankle like that. So he's having Ben doing all subscription sellings. Turn it down. And then he goes,
also
up
the
there.
first time the scenes. Yeah, we all said this, but it was the first time. Yeah, scenes from the episode are shown before the credits. Yeah. So
Appreciate a good headline. Was John Boy doing his Mick Jagger impersonation there?
maybe.
Sure. And here, can you guys hear anything in the background?
A little bit.
Turn it down. All right, so we get Sheriff Brooks here. I like this here.
Well, how about sheriff reports county crime rate decreasing? Good news.
John Boy's like, that's not what I want. I want the juicy shit. Come on, Sheriff.
Yeah, come on. I want to hear. I want to hear about.
That is the juicy shit for
that kind of town, Rockfish. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so boring here.
So anyhow, we got the fucking 42nd Street gang here. They go, come on, Ben. Let's go on and do some shit. Let's get up to some shenanigans. Let's go play some pool and shit. Nah, it's all everything. We'll just deal with fucking later. Skirt your goddamn responsibilities. I don't care how much your brother's paying you.
So, Gorilla, you're calling them hillbilly ruffians then?
Yeah, it's T-Move 42nd Street gang.
Yeah, I know, but that's what they'd be called, hillbilly ruffians.
No, I like T-Move 42nd Street gang.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll go because it's your show.
Yeah. So anyhow, they go do that. Then
Oh, that's hilarious. I still love that scene.
Here, then we got... And this is the most exercise that Sheriff's gotten in a long time.
All right. Well, first time he's probably seen that ever happen.
No, you'd seen some shit in the back of the day, man. A lot of that shit.
I'm sure, but come on. Okay. I'm just saying it's a full car crashed into a store front, okay? It's kind of weird.
I see that plenty of times. Yeah,
okay,
we got old ladies that don't know how to drive anymore.
Hey, the only time I ever saw that when I was living back in Arizona a couple times was when the person, just like this situation, was drunk off their ass and decided to run into a building, except it was a brick wall building. So
yeah. So anyhow, the judge is like, I'm okay. Nobody's hurt. I'll fix it. And just because it's an election year and I want to be reelected, I promise the citizens of this here county that I'll make reparations for all, and I'll give you a free. It's the election year. Sheriff Briggs goes and gets some coffee. That he blames it on the steering. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah. And John.
And believe me, I saw.
Come on.
Now don't worry, nobody's going to be out a single penny. Let's just congratulate ourselves. Nobody was hurt.
Like a true politician.
Yeah.
I like this right here.
Standing when all this happened?
Right over there. And believe me, I saw it all. It seemed to me he dozed off.
Wow. Oh, yeah, look at the tough gossip there. Can her word really be all that more?
Sheriff.
Hey, who hasn't dozed off behind a wheel once or twice?
Oh, I have.
Yeah,
I'm sure
when you drive through those fields.
Hey. I stopped before I hit the field. I only ended up in the ditch.
You didn't run into a cow?
Mile. What?
So you never ran into a actual four-legged animal then?
Oh, come on. We're not that overpopulated with animals. It's 4:00 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the nice, decent cows were all in the barn. Only the crazy gorilla was out on the streets.
Yeah. Hey, I was coming back from a booty call, okay?
He was a crazy silverback gorilla back from his midnight sojourn.
Yeah. So he talks out of his ass then. Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's what most politicians do, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most of what they say is nothing but shit anyway. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he goes, what's he doing here?
Well, that's John Waltons, Tony, paper, the Blue Ridge Chronicle.
And he's like, oh, fuck, the press is here.
He's like, oh shit, I'm busted.
Oh crap! It's the press.
So John Boy says he's gonna put it in the paper. People want to fear about it. And the sheriff tries to talk about it, blah blah blah. It's just he just wants to be. He says he's just gonna break the truth.
Yeah.
Then here they're getting close. If you watch this scene here, there's actually probably won't be able to see it because it has that X-ray thing here. But there's actually some boom-like shadows in the. Actually, you can kind of see it
right above his head. Right above his head, gorilla was one of the goofs.
Yeah.
If you watch for it, you'll see like a shadow of it. That's right above his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. It was in the background. I see it.
Yeah.
Well, would it trouble you too much to tell me where you hid them this time?
Mr. Godsey, may I politely suggest that you don't take that tone when you address me?
Oh, it's like,
shut up, like, damn you! I'm
like,
gonna slap you.
He's like,
slap the butts out of you.
Woman, just knock this shit off. And you can tell that Elizabeth and them were getting a little uncomfortable. But let's just leave. We don't need the clothes. We have over 100 cans to do. We can't pay clothes. And she goes and finally gets them. She hits them under the thing. And Corbett's like, I want some tea and shit. And she comes in and tells him you're here. Oh, I know what I missed.
Right.
She's crying her eyes out.
Oh, come on.
Thanks for accepting Corbett's invitation. She's been so edgy lately. Shook me in here laughing, just fitting to bust. And then before I can find out what's so funny, she's crying her eyes out.
They kind of got their suspicion, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And here's this where they tell her, we're going to have a baby.
Bully. And now I'm sure.
And they're going to go, she's all happy, you know, and she goes, I think Grandma says, maybe you've just been eating too much. I was laughing my ass off on this scene. I don't know about you guys. They call her high strung. And she's like, they're like, we got to go. Hey, and here they.
Would you please tell Mr. Godsey that I have something to tell him?
Now, they actually have a scene with Ike Godsey's reaction to this news that got deleted, but I managed to obtain a copy of his reaction, and I had to do a little enhancing on that.
Oh, no.
And it got adjusted a little bit, but I do got his reaction.
There we go.
Right
there
here.
we go.
Right here.
No.
What's the matter?
No.
No. Are you pregnant, Corbett?
Well, I mean, Corbett.
Yeah, here we're back.
She's usually, you know, unbalanced anyway. Can you imagine how crazy she'd get if she actually was pregnant?
Or if she became a mother?
She's going through a midlife crisis. Give her a break. All right, so they're back in the old mill here. They tell them the truth that, actually.
I mean, not enough to get himself arrested, but he shouldn't have been driving a car.
Judge Thornberry's up for re-election, you know, son.
Yes, I know.
I think he'd just soon forget about the whole matter.
Well, I'm not going to forget about it. This is news.
Now, I went to school with Graham Thornberry. Known him since I was a boy. I hope you got your facts straight.
Nah, yeah. He's
wow.
Jesus Christ, he looks fucking stoned in this clip still.
Hey,
but
how did his attitude change? I mean, come on. How did John's attitude change toward his son like that fast. Like, well, you better get your facts straight, you dumbass.
Well, I don't even know if defamation was a term back then yet.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to defame, especially someone's a judge, who can be mighty hard on the family.
Yeah.
But, John Boy. Yeah, well, wait, I'll discuss that when it gets closer to it.
Daddy, I got 3 eyewitnesses who saw the whole thing. I'm just going to write down what happened.
It's going to lose him a lot of votes, son.
Well, I can't help that. This is a newspaper. I got to print the news.
Now, could that, if he doesn't print the story, well, if he does, either way, could this be considered election interference depending on whose side the judge is on? Because if he doesn't print it, then the public is blind to some of the judge's actions. But if he doesn't print it, it's going to lose him a lot of votes.
Well, the thing is, there's the old freedom of the press thing, right? And if John Boy has the facts correct, then I think if he's going to run a newspaper and he has his facts straight and everything is, he's got it all down and none of it's like made up BS or whatever. He should publish because that's what a newspaper's about, right?
But the facts can always get twisted.
Well, facts can always get twisted.
Yeah,
but John Boy,
just look at CNN and MSNBS.
Well, yeah, but John Boy's not CNN. Like, let's make that clear. Like John Boy is basically
but he wants to rank himself next to the New York Times. He wants to be considered as ethical as the New York bullshit Times.
I think John Boy just wants to publish his little community newspaper. I think that's all he really wants to do.
Yeah, he just wants to keep people up to date. But it's also, don't forget, he does believe in freedom of speech from the Constitution. So I'm sure he's using that as a platform in order to say that I can print this because I have the information and the witnesses.
Yeah. So anyhow, he's gonna do it. That's the way he raised me. Blah blah blah. Blah blah. So now they're arguing over the print size and that stuff. Blah blah blah. Jim Bob, he wants to be called James. This is the first time he wants to be called James Roberts. So he's going through that puberty side or stage there. Blah blah blah. They keep complaining this blah 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 blah. They spilt the stuff.
Is that the only time that Jim Bob says his full name? Is that the only time?
Well, this is the first time he says it.
That's what I mean. Okay.
It's not the first time it's said, but it's the first time that he demands to be called it.
Uh-huh.
Any chats? Nope.
I've not seen anything yet.
All right. So
that's a good line of dialogue.
Sure about that baby though.
Well, it depends on how you interpret it. If they weren't talking about the actual baby Corpus could have, that could be interpreted a couple different ways. But yeah, Ben's gonna go to Rocky
Rockfish Girls are sure in for a treat tonight.
You look like an ad for some kind of hair oil.
Why are the Rockfish Girls coming over here?
No, I'm going over there tonight. It's okay, Daddy, isn't it?
Don't you think you should have asked that question first, son?
See, they've never really. See, here's the thing: they never really had to ask permission to go anywhere before. They just say, especially John Boy. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to do this. Okay, bye." Like me, there, I learned like once, especially when I was around Ben's age. Ask my parents, "Can I go here?" Oh no, they always started doing that. Ask your mother. Ask your dad. Ask your mother.
Yeah, but
ask your dad. Finally, I got to the point where I was just going, "Hey, I'm going here. Bye. I'll be home for supper."
Yeah, but I mean, isn't this being a little unfair in a way? Because, it seems like something out of, okay, you need to be back by curfew time. You should have asked me first, or something like that.
Yeah, this is
I get that from my parents sometimes,
That's how hillbillies hunt. Don't expect out your level of honor and discipline from this. This is keep on drinking until you see something with antlers and then hope that you don't shoot some other guy.
So in
That's
other
a good
words,
one, Jerry.
I can have some fun with the hillbillies there by gluing some antlers to the propane tank.
Yeah, well, when you start seeing antlers and you can't distinguish that from a woman's assets, you're in real shit trouble.
Yeah. All right.
John Boy's gonna let me use his car.
Damn.
Seems to me you've been spending an awful lot of time in Rockfish lately. It's a bad influence for a boy your age.
What's wicked in
Wow.
Rockfish?
I've been trying to find the answer to that question for over 60 years.
That is a great line. I love that. That Will Gear. Oh, yeah. Good line. Really good. Yeah. And she's laughing, of course. You know.
Yeah,
Jill's
I
laughing.
think it's hilarious, her expression in this scene. It's like she smoked something or something, you know. It's like, whoa.
I was on weed, man. Weed.
Yeah. So anyhow, he's off. All right, bye. You know, it's awfully kind of late for him to be going to Rockfish. Hey, that's pretty good. That's a Packer, ain't it?
Yes, that's a Packard.
It looks expensive. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like we got some company and we got some good old fashioned bribery going on here.
Uh-oh.
This is the home of the Blue Ridge Chronicle.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I know you're busy getting out your first edition, but I hope you can spare me a few minutes. Hello?
Good afternoon, sir. Glad.
When you elect me judge, I promise you vote for me. I promise I'll let you off on your first charge, which is a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
God, did they purposely try to make the judge who that apparently that John and Grandpa admire or like to sound like a complete sleazeball? Did they purposely do that, or is that just the way it came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they tried to sleaze him up a bit, being a drunk public official. They had to.
Okay.
They wanted to push it just so he fits the part.
Hey
And
guys,
so
guess
that we
what?
don't feel sympathy for him, right?
Yeah. And guys, I knew I'd recognize his voice. That is Conrad Janis, who was in Mork and Mindy, who played Mindy's dad. That is Conrad Janis right there.
All right.
Judge Thornberry. Yep.
I apologize for the cramped editorial room.
Putting out your own newspaper is quite an ambitious undertaking for a young man.
Yes, well, I hope to earn a little as well as learn a little.
And John Boy's like, all right, get to the fucking point. What do you want? Which we all know exactly what he wants.
Well, I am delighted to find out you are not only ambitious, but also practical. That's a combination usually makes for success. The practical John Walton undoubtedly has already
There
decided
he
not
is.
to waste any space on my
He's actually one of my favorite TV actors, Conrad Janis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Why does that seem so familiar? Like this tone in this act there. The way he's talking and trying to bribe him.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to bully him.
He's not trying to bribe him. He's trying to intimidate him.
Yeah, he's trying some intimidation tactics.
Yeah, but
Techniques.
this seems like this is very familiar.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call that wasted space, Judge.
It really would be beating a dead horse. I've arranged to pay all the damages, and the matter is settled.
I hate to disagree with you, Judge, but it is a news story, so I think it rates a place in the paper.
John Boy, being a writer, he could have actually made the judge to look like a great guy in the mishap, going blah blah blah. He had a little accident. We don't know the cause of the accident, which technically they don't know what the actual cause of the accident is because he's not sitting in jail for drunk driving, and he's not, And the judge right away said he was going to pay for those buildings, and he had everything. He paid to have the whole soda shop. He could have made him look like a fantastic guy who had a little mishap with his car.
Well, Well, in
But-
that case, he'd look just like him.
But he wouldn't be lying, and it'd still be the truth.
Not as fun.
But you must have more important news to print. Minor traffic accident. Who's interested?
I think the readers are interested. I think they're interested in any unusual occurrence, especially when it concerns a prominent person like yourself.
No, this guy wasn't a judge when he still printed.
Yeah,
Like
this,
if it's Yancey Tucker who crashed the car, would he still be printing it? That's
I
the
didn't know
kind
how
of-
many. Yeah,
Oh,
I was gonna say I didn't know how many episodes he did of Mark and Mindy, but it said he did 70 episodes, and then there was a joint association with the Laverne and Shirley Hour, and they had his voice over 4 episodes of that. So basically, he did 74 episodes of Mark and Mindy. So.
Oh, okay. So, but that still doesn't answer my question. If it was like Yancey Tucker, though, a prominent drunken backwoods hillbilly, would John Boy still write the story instead of a supposedly respected judge?
Well, maybe because he doesn't know the judge that well. But like you said, if it was Yancey, he'd probably cut him a little slack. But because it's a judge and he's up for re-election, he feels like he needs to do the story. So,
Yeah.
A boy crusader whose strength is the strength of 10 because his heart is pure. John.
In other words, he's saying, "Oh, for fuck's sakes, how can I get through this fucking kid's hard-headed skull?" That's what it roughly translates to.
Oh man.
John, you're taking yourself and your paper much too seriously. You're not representing the New York Times or even the Charlottesville Progress. You're a little county newspaper.
Plus, he's more invested in the truth than either of those 2 big papers.
Yeah.
I don't see what the size of the publication has to do with its quality either.
Well, again, that's that part of that intimidation factor. He's saying, but you are a tiny little, know nothing newspaper, and it's not like you're a huge inner city, big city or capital, like you just mentioned. So yeah.
Yeah, so we pretty much got the gist of this. He's saying he has the charity, search for the truth. And John Boy asked him the question, like, if it was just a regular farmer, would he be that interested? Blah, blah, blah. He goes to try to get John Boy to change the thing, and John says, when it comes to the newspapers, he's the editor, publisher, and all that, just so John can't be held liable for anything John Boy prints.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Good luck with that.
Then he tries to turn to the grandpa. Grandpa goes, "Hey, keep me out of this. Let's all stick together on this kind of stuff." Blah, blah, blah. She's being the nursery. She's getting some maternity stuff. And we got
Be a father, just like you. It's going to be.
then like seemingly all happy after his little no thing.
Yeah.
Oh, look how nice Grandpa is holding the yarn while Grandma winding into a ball. Then one of these guys here is actually Aaron's brother. Aaron and Mary Ellen are going on a double date. And the guy I think that's going with Aaron there is her brother. So we got some real life Alabama stuff going on here.
Hey, we got some incestual thing going on, don't we?
What do you think? Hey, I was trying to be a little bit more subtle by calling it an Alabama thing.
I was making fun of it, Gorilla. Come on. Okay. Tell me, to be honest, why is Elizabeth smiling like this?
Because she's going to roll her first
I'll be
victim.
too old to enjoy it.
When's the last time you had a hucklebuck?
Okay, so what's a hucklebuck? I'm not even sure if I want to know that.
You go like this. You go like this on the side of their face. Go.
Oh,
It tickles a lot. It tickles a lot.
I'm really not familiar with that term.
Okay. It's a lively, energetic dance. That's a hucklebuck.
Yeah. So anyhow, they're
It
like,
was-
we don't want to play pool. Let's play poker. Well, where we gotta play poker? Can't do it at my house. You know how my
Not in
mama
my
is.
house.
But he said he knows how to get into a house there. He's watching the yard for some people. And
You know, you would like this, Gorilla.
Could be worse. You know.
Knuckleball can also refer to a frozen sweet drink down in Louisiana and Georgia, particularly in New Orleans and Macon. It's usually made with either Kool-Aid, snowball syrup, or Jell-O powder. Wow.
Yeah.
Uncle Buck.
All right, so
Why are you so quiet tonight?
Guess I'm feeling a little bit like Elizabeth. All the children away.
Could be.
Hey, you know, she's hinting at her boom chicka wow wow. Come on, there's no kids around.
Worse, you know. Some husbands go out on Saturday night, leave their wives home alone.
I like that like slight little like look that Ralph Waite just did with that whole thing there. And why? It's probably because the wives aren't. Well, it's because the wives aren't putting out. That's why they go out.
Look at his expression; it's priceless.
No, I think John was kind of implying there that some husbands go out to get a little on the side, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't imply that. I did.
No, but no, looking at the look in on his face, I thought he was kind of making fun of Elizabeth there a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Kind of teasing
But
her.
anyhow, they're going to start making child number 8. So they're all speaking in there. They're all going on the basement. They'll break in. Blah, blah, blah.
Gorilla, you don't have the edited scene of that anywhere, do you?
They actually made a full featured film about it called Debbie Does Dallas.
There you go.
And hello there,
now-
Suzanne from Side by Sip Dan. That's the only thing I've seen so far. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So anyhow, they aren't being too sneaky here. They get spotted by the neighbor spots the light on. So Jabba comes into town. He's looking through here. You can hear the pool balls clinking. And the Jabba goes, "Have you seen my bird, Ben?" "No, but I got a story you might be interested in. Someone broke into the old thing there." And Corbett can't make up her mind, so she's gonna paint the nursery pink and blue, blah blah blah. And fuck. Here we go. All right, let's hold it up there, boys. They come out and they recognize them.
Can earn a man 1 to 5 years in the state penitentiary.
Look, I know I was wrong. Daddy, I have no excuses.
As far as I could tell, nothing was disturbed, nothing was taken from the house.
Look, we didn't take anything.
Just a minute. Supposing when the Garrettsons get back, they tell me there's money missing or silverware or what have you. Who do you think's going to be blamed? Huh?
And he's like, "Oh, fuck." So he releases the John's custody. And now John Boy can go to Judge Thornton and go, "Remember that thing you said you could do us some favors?"
And what's this stepdad is saying? He's saying, does Gorilla get his equal representation for both sexes in this episode for you guys to see? This is not a porn series, Dad. Come on. Come on.
Hell, I don't even think we've ever even seen someone topless in this show.
No, not even once. No.
Yeah, and I don't
Because
think we ever will.
even when they were in swimming suits, the guys had full clothing bathing suits.
Yeah. Now, if you watch the movie I watched before I came here, I watched Beastmaster, and you know that moment where Tanya Roberts, comes out of the water and full frontal stuff. Yeah, well, there's that. But I'm
Right.
kind of surprised that YouTube free movies would show that.
Yeah.
Even if it's
So
only for a few seconds.
So anyhow,
in trouble, Ben.
So they got all the kids are gathered around. You can't get your fucking out of the bag enough for your fucking death right now. I might have been paraphrasing a little bit.
Yeah, why is it that they're all awake at the same time when something goes wrong? Why is that? Do they all have extrasensory?
We've all been brought up to obey the law and respect other people's property. Now, how?
So anyhow, mother's getting on his ass there. He's more afraid of his mother than Pa. And then she's telling him he can't go anywhere, he can't sell anything, and maybe they'll let him out of the house every once in a while. Corbett's crying. She wants to go home. She doesn't want to see Ike. She's scared. Blah 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 blah. Turns out that she's barren. She cannot ever have a kid.
Wow.
And she's gonna go back to was it Dove Clove or something like that?
Yeah.
Or Clove Dove or something like that, or Dove Holler. Oh yeah, I like how Grandma says. Grandma goes, "Tell us what's wrong and make it short because it's past my bedtime." I like that line. But anyhow, she's going back to whatever to call it. Ike already knows, and she doesn't want to see. He says, "Give it a." All right. I'll just wait until she's ready. So, you think he could go and sleep in the damn shed here instead of out on the front porch.
Yeah.
Family's disgrace? Is that it? Is that the story you're writing about this family's disgrace?
Let's be honest. It's only one of them that's disgraced.
Yeah.
Now this here kind of reminds me of some Southern shows and movies there that were set in these early times. There, where that exact line there just reminded me of some of these early Southern style. About when they talk about your family's disgrace and stuff. I did kind of have like a little bit of a deja vu. I'm not sure about you guys.
Yeah. What's this other thing that Dan's talking about? He's saying it's amazing how far we've fallen. For the mortals that mother is pushing is now a bad thing. What is he talking about?
I think he means morals, not mortals.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Damn autocorrect.
I pledged myself and I pledged my newspaper to search for the truth.
Oh.
Now that I've found it, I can't just be blind to it because it involves a member of my family.
There's plenty of truth you can write about without shaming Ben and the rest of us.
It's not the point, Mama.
Don't you tell me what the point is. The point is your brother's good name.
And here's another example where John Boy can tell the truth, but yet he can slant it and still be truthful and honest and all factual. Where it could be like a boys made boys. He can say his brother's been punished by the parents there, and he promised to make rights with the Garrisons. Blah blah blah. He could totally slant it.
The thing is though, if John Boy wants to run a newspaper, if he lets every single person intimidate him when they want to intimidate him, he's going to have an empty page because he won't be able to print nothing because everybody's going to be pissed off.
No, I'm not saying let him intimidate him, but still write the story, but don't make the people look terrible in them. But just kind of look on the good side of them.
Well, I mean, I guess you could write it in the sense that he's a young kid and he made a mistake and he got influenced by bad friends.
Well, I wouldn't even say put the other kids under the bus, but say he's promised he's gonna make amends to the Garrisons, and then the family is thoroughly disappointed. The families have thoroughly disappointed the boys. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
the same thing with the judge.
And John Boy could put in that he's learned his lesson and he won't do it again.
Yeah, you can totally slant it, but still be factual.
Yeah. But this is but what I'm looking at here, what I saw before, was that this is just a subtle parental way of coercion. This is what she's telling him. It's like, look, he's already got his name sullied. So do you really need to print it in your paper, even if it's a little newspaper, and put it in there?
But John Boy wants to publish a paper that, in his view at least, is publishing honest journalism, not fabricating, not slanting the story a particular way to please the audience or please whoever wants to be pleased. And I really, usually Olivia treats John Boy like an adult. She has for some time now because John Boy is an adult, for frickin' sake, right?
Yes.
And then in this episode, all of a sudden she goes back treating John Boy like he's 12 years old again or something, and doesn't have enough brains in his head to have maybe thought it over 3 or 4 times, and considered what he's going to publish. Maybe she doesn't give him any credit at all, of course, for that. And that's one problem I have with this episode. I really don't like the way they wrote Olivia in this episode, because she seemed a bit out of character. I could understand her being upset, with Ben, and then upset with John Boy, wanting to publish what happened. But I just think the writers kind of dropped the ball a bit in this one when it came to her character. She seems out of character.
Yeah, and the other thing I noticed,
I don't see her reacting to this extreme, because where's the point where she talks about getting the hammer out or whatever?
Yeah,
the point is, if I make an exception for Ben Walton, I have to make an exception for somebody else. And before you know it, I'm going to compromise myself right out of business. That's what the point is.
And before you know it, he's publishing the National Enquirer.
In a destructive way, you can just move it right off this property.
Yeah. No, she's certainly kick his ass out when she's 20. He's
should set fire to the printing press.
But see, I don't see Olivia saying that either. I mean, Olivia's always treated her children with enough respect to allow them to make their own decisions in life, unless they're really screwing up bad. And I don't think John Boy's really screwing anything up that bad. He's just trying to publish a newspaper. And she's really, telling him to move it off of the property. It's like, that's a bit much. After John Boy's worked so hard, he's paying all that money to his ex, newspaper boss to have bought that press. I mean, she doesn't seem to have any respect for John Boy's dreams, John Boy's desire to be a professional writer and maybe publish a small paper. Like, she's just got zero respect. It's just like,
and
you're a jackass, John Boy. Screw you,
Yeah, and that's obviously not like Olivia, his mom at all.
She's
I mean, the writers really. I gotta say with you, I agree with you, PvP. I think the writers really dropped the ball on this one. I
don't think she's in character in this scene, personally.
Definitely isn't. I mean, there's some parental, it's either continuity is fricked up or it's just a character error. But I mean, that's what I'm seeing. I mean,
by the way, do we know who wrote this episode? I can't remember what it said.
I can find that out for you right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's one of our regular writers, or if it's maybe a newbie that wrote this.
Okay, the writer was John McGreevy. He wrote it. John McGreevy.
Has he written other ones? I can't remember the name.
Let me see. Dun, 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 dun. Of course, he's dead now. He's been dead for a while.
Well, a lot of people back from the 70s are dead now.
Right? Back then. Yeah, he wrote 20 episodes for the Waltons.
Okay, so he's not like a greenhorn or something then. Okay.
Oh, no. 20 episodes. The director of this was Lawrence Dobkin, and I recognize that name. Let's see. Yeah, he worked on the Star Trek. He was a director for one episode of TOS, and let's see, what episode was that? Oh yes, Charlie X. He directed Charlie X, season 1, episode 2. That was the one he worked on.
Charlie X was TOS, was it not?
Yeah, that's what I said. Dobkin worked on that before he worked on this. So.
Charlie X is early in season 1.
Yeah, very early, but
not season 2.
No, that's why. Well, that's where I recognize Dobkin's last name was, because I know he worked on a TOS episode. I had mentioned him previously before. There was also, he worked on that Mike Hammer series back in 1958 for 2 episodes.
Okay, maybe we should
get back
to the episode.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Okay, yeah, sorry. You asked me who the writer and director were, so I just let you know.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you told us.
If you're going to use that newspaper to disgrace and humiliate my family, I want everybody to know that I am in no way party to it. And if you don't move it, I will find me a sledgehammer and I will personally batter it to pieces. You think about that.
I wonder what he would say if that wasn't his mama.
Yeah.
So she's totally out of line, I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
she is too. There's a couple things that Dan's saying. He says moral, mortals,
Uh-oh.
weirdo.
Uh-oh.
Hey, say basically don't be like Sid and sure.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so John Boy's writing it. He's putting all the names on there. I like sleeping on the thing there.
Oh, hey, Gorilla. In the information, there was also what is actually on his front page besides those two stories. Did you want to mention that now or just afterwards?
We'll do it afterwards. So we'll
Okay.
show it when he gets to it.
Okay.
So I like this.
You look a bit frazzled yourself.
Yeah.
I've slept
Grandpa
better.
says he'll go get him.
Hey! Get yourself in here for breakfast. There's biscuits.
Go get him like he walked
Yeah.
like 10 feet. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been in the press room. Everybody's like, he's like, how come nobody's doing their chores around here? Blah, blah, blah. He had to go get things himself. So Corbett, Olivia's basically telling her she's being retarded and that Ike loves her for her, blah, 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 all that bullshit. And so she says, you got to talk to Ike before you leave his ass. I suppose this was all before No Fault Divorce.
I don't get what her, well, Cora Beth is always kind of high strung crazy, but I don't get why she's why she's annoyed with Ike. Ike, it's not Ike's fault what happened. Like
that she's barren.
She's not annoyed with Ike. She's annoyed and upset with herself.
Yeah.
She's saying Ike's one thing, and now she knows she can never do that.
So she's going to leave Ike and leave him alone because that'll make it better. Okay.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so anyhow, I goes, just don't leave me, I love you, blah, 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 blah. And the kiss, and John Boy's bed gets a break-in, and we'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I should just remind Cora Beth, it's like, hey, you're barren. We can bang away for hours and no consequences, baby. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thinking a lot about what you both said yesterday.
I'm sorry I shouted at you, John Boy. It's
Oh,
just that
shut
I was
up,
all
Mom.
stirred up about
Oh
Ben,
my
and
goodness! Finally,
then it
we
looked
got
like we were
Olivia
gonna make
back.
things worse.
Yeah, we got
Now,
her back.
if we watch
Dead.
closely, you'll see a piece of the lighting equipment in right over here.
Okay.
Okay.
I know. You're his mama, and you told me what you felt. I understand that. I appreciate it.
And Ben's listening to this the whole time here. Then making amends, just so John Boy doesn't get his ass thrown out on the streets.
But as a newspaper man, I have to say I think you're 100% wrong. So I'm going to go halfway with you on it. Mama, I love Ben. You know that. I wouldn't do anything in the world to harm him.
I can't. Let's see.
But I got to print these stories.
Thought you said you were going to meet me halfway.
Yeah, her halfway is him burning down that newspaper altogether.
Her halfway is her way.
Yeah. It's her way or the highway, John Boy.
That's right.
I'm going to put Ben's story and the Thornbury story on the back page. I'm going to bury him.
Yeah, it's like when these two are in seniors, you'll be able to see the lighting equipment.
Yeah. I see
You're
it.
still going to print them.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah, I did. It highlighted on Ben. It's a big it's over kind of overlit. If you watch real carefully, if he's walking away.
I know.
You see where it just lit up there, and then it's over. Part of it is over where he's at the porch.
There's Mama, and you told me what you felt. I understand.
You're talking about right here?
Understand that. I appreciate it.
No, well, keep going, Gorilla. It's going to be actually, you'll see it where
As a newspaper man, I have to say, I think you're 100% wrong. So I'm going to go halfway with you on it.
It's only because we can pause these things now. I mean, back when this was broadcast, nobody had recording devices. So you know, you watched it one time and then it was gone. And I doubt very much an audience would even notice it back then when it just goes by so quickly, especially on those older TVs, you know, back in the 70s, right? They wouldn't have had the clarity that some of the equipment, you know, we watch stuff on nowadays does.
Yeah.
Mama, I love Ben. You know that. I wouldn't do anything in the world to harm him. But I gotta print these stories.
It's really lit on
You
the
said you were going to
face.
meet
You
me
can tell that.
halfway.
Wait.
It's see right there by his hand. See where his hand just left it? That's where it just. There's more lighting. You can tell more lighting from where he's
Okay.
at.
So
yeah,
now,
it's a little bit
give me a second.
overlit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, even if it hurts, you can't turn around and tell him something different now. No, come on.
Wow.
Let's go for a walk.
Now who's the voice of reason? Used to be Mom. Now it's John.
It's always John.
I always thought
Yeah,
John was.
John.
I always thought John was the voice of reason. Actually,
All through
Yeah.
most
So
episodes we
now
see.
this is a really good. This is a really great line from John right here.
His family's been through fire, pestilence, drought, civil war, the World War. I don't think some of the story in the backwoods newspaper is going to finish us off now.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, you're right, John. Blah blah. Blah. And Ben goes, here's the first. He puts it right on the front page there.
Very cool.
They put the strikers,
Okay,
Garrison
yeah.
entered. Project
Yeah.
approved.
Well, I'll go ahead and
Oh,
mention real
oh
quick
yeah,
what's
there's a
up.
mistake in this episode too.
There is?
Because this is still 1936, and they're talking about the gunboats firing on.
Yeah, in
Japanese gunboats
1937. Right. Yeah.
No,
So
but that happened in 37.
yeah, I know. And this is supposed to be 1936 where they had these two
Yeah.
events that are going on. Yeah.
Yeah, you may know, but I don't. But our readers don't know. What
Well, I mean, it's really
what they're referring to is it's called the USS Panley incident. The Japanese says it's a total accident, but they're pretty sure
Panay.
it wasn't.
Yeah, it's the
This
Panay
hap-
incident. Yeah.
It happened on
Yeah.
December 12th, 1937, on the Yangtze River in China. The Japanese aircraft fired on it, you know, as they're evacuating American citizens from an embassy and all that when the Japanese attacked it.
Gunboat, right? Then they had the Golden Gate Bridge that opened in San Francisco. And I know for a fact that opened in 1937, not 36. So I'm wondering why it's also in the article there too. And then, you know, because my family history of people that have lived in San Francisco. So, you know, I did
according
this.
to my timeline here, this is 36 here, because according to the timeline from the official, all about the Waltons episode there.
Yeah.
Let's see, John Boy buys that's the start of 36. John Boy publishes the first issue of the News Rose Chronicles.
Yeah.
That because as soon as Jason starts working at the Dewdrop Bid, that's 37.
Yeah, I mean, every article there, other than the two that he, like we said, that he wrote, Gorilla, are all 1930. They're all future events. So that's that is a big continuity issue. I think.
you wonder the writer must have not got it right. They must have not done their homework.
Or he's doing sniffing glue.
I'm sure they did their research. They just did their research on the wrong year.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, but you think those events would all have the dates recorded when they occurred, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I do like how Ben demanded John Boy put his story on the front page, though. That was one of the high points of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
All right. So what?
Where's
Uh-oh.
the last part of this guy?
Well, I know. Look. All right. So yeah, blah blah blah. Then we're gonna go to our prologue now.
You mean epilogue?
Epilogue, prologue, same the fucking difference. We're
See, I'm-
69. We're 69 in this bitch.
I'm glad Gorilla doesn't write teleplays if he doesn't get the difference.
Hey, yeah, no, we're just going full 69 on this.
Okay. Well, if you're gonna go 69, you might as well go full.
As long as she wants to rotate the same way you go.
All right. In spite of all the obstacles and handicaps, my brother and I did manage to put the first edition of the Blue Ridge Chronicle to bed, as they say in the newspaper business. With the publication of the first edition, I embarked upon a whole new adventure in my life. As usual, I had to help and support my family. They shared my pride and sense of accomplishment. Well, most of all, we shared the knowledge that rather than dividing or estranging our family, the conflict we had just come through seemed to give a new respect for a different way for each of us could work for all of us wanted. Alrighty, so we're gonna catch up on chats here.
Yeah.
Cynthia says, "Are you having poached eggs that possible? Why is she set up as well?"
I think you meant to say upset. Yeah.
I have absolutely no idea what you're getting at, Dan.
I don't know either.
Yeah, tangents are annoying. Hey, the Astros are winning the game against the Cubs. Remember when the Cubs won their first World Series in 100 years? Who here likes baseballs?
Yeah, you remember when the Astros got caught cheating in the World Series a couple years ago? That was
I
nice.
think that was the Astros, yeah.
And I got tired of baseball once I got stuck in the machine shed there during baseball size hail.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys ever got caught in a tin shed that echoes during baseball size hail.
No, not yet.
Loud. It is fucking loud.
Yeah.
And by the time they are back on target, the rebel base is destroyed by the Death Star. I actually don't mind tangents at all. Well, it depends on the tangent and how long they go on the tangent.
We really didn't go off of any tangents tonight, though, did we, Gorilla?
Unless they turn into discussions of TOS. If they go
I
TOS, this stream would be 5 hours long. Oh, come on. We're not like Jill.
Yeah, no. Jill goes off into like, wee!
Oh, no,
Yeah,
she's been doing 5-hour streams lately. I can't do 5 hours.
Well, you
I'm
know
sorry.
she did the unification next generation episodes this morning,
Yeah,
right?
it's 5.5 hours long.
Yeah, that's nuts. I can't do that. I can't. I actually don't watch Joe's channel much anymore because I can't watch 5-hour freaking streams. I can't.
No, I can't. I just gotta find the time.
I don't have the time. That's the problem.
So Screw says, "Don't be sore that the Mariners are behind the Astros."
Anyway,
no, I'm not sore. It's just you guys cheated in the World Series.
Yeah.
Well,
they cheated in the 2017 World Series, to be exact.
I used to love the Mariners, but man, they've sucked donkey for years now.
So before you guys forget how you're gonna vote in this episode here, God,
I
PvP,
voted.
how about you tell us what you thought of the episode?
I
Let's
already
start
voted.
with Jerm
But...
first. Go ahead. Let's start with Jerm first.
Yeah.
Is decent for a season premiere. Got a lot established. Wasn't a lot of mistakes that I saw. Thankfully, not a lot of Aaron. Not a lot of any of the girls, actually. Is actually sort of refreshing since they're usually the down part of the episode. So I give it a B.
All right.
Sounds fair.
Yeah. PvP.
Yeah, I was not for a season opener. I was disappointed in this one. I like the story of John Boy publishing his first edition of his newspaper. That was a positive point. I didn't like the way they wrote Olivia in this episode at all. I thought there were scenes where she was way out of character, and I didn't really enjoy that at all. The B story with Cora Beth is like meh, another meh B story. It was supposed to be, I guess, dramatic, but it came across more melodrama than drama for me. So I wasn't overly impressed with that. I like Ben. Ben, Ben was really the only kid feature in the episode, which I agree with Jern. It's kind of refreshing not to have all the siblings, hogging up the screen time. So Ben was good in this. There was I think some character growth in Ben when he told John Boy, "Go ahead, don't be afraid. Put the story on the front page, even if it harms my reputation." Because I'm sure people will read that. People read a newspaper and then a week later they throw it in the trash and forget they ever read it, right? So it's probably not going to do any lasting harm. So yeah, overall, I just kind of found it kind of a middling episode. It just kind of meandered for me. I just didn't really get much of enjoyment out of this one, so I ended up giving it a C.
All righty. Thank you.
All right.
Lexi.
Yeah, okay. So I've watched it twice now before I came here tonight, and I got to say, I think there was at least 3 stories that I could see. The main one, of course, being, John Boy's integrity versus the type of coercion he was getting from both not only Judge Thornberry, but from his very own mom. So that's, to keep the integrity and the reputation of his first edition intact and respectable, he had to fight for that, because that's the first time as an editor of his own little newspaper that he had to fight for that in a way. So that's like the A story. For me, the B story is pretty much what happens with Ben when he does something wrong. And it's very, it's important because he's messing with he's being with the wrong crowd, as, our wonderful gorilla had eloquently said that they were a gang. And that to me was like the B story, because Ben, in one hand, he realized, yeah, I did something bad, really bad, and I'm not supposed to associate with people like that ilk. But then at the same time, he brings back his, reputation and his integrity back to prominence by saying, yeah, go ahead and put it on the front page because I did something wrong and I'm going to own up to it. So that was, for me, the B story. The C story, basically Cora Beth saying, oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, no, I'm not pregnant. But, Ike reassuring her, hey, we can still have fun even though, we're not able to have children of our own. Or hell, they can always adopt,
Well, that's the thing too, right?
Yeah. So for me, okay, initially I'd given it an A-, but then I was like, no, because of what the writers did to Olivia was really disgusting, I thought. I brought it down to a B+. Because the other 2 stories kind of held their own, but so B+ for me.
I thought she was acting more as you would expect. Being as uptight and religious as she is, she would be very concerned about having her family ran through in a newspaper, especially a newspaper ran by her own son.
I think Olivia's usually far more balanced than that. She might be religious. I don't see her as uptight. I seldom see her as uptight. She's actually pretty relaxed. I mean, having 7 kids, come on, you can't be that uptight if you're pumping out that many kids. So, I thought she was written out of character in some scenes badly. And I gotta mention to Mikey, I kind of saw the Ben. I get your point of seeing Ben as a part of a B story or whatever, but I kind of still thought Ben was part of the A story because his exploits were kind of intermixed with the problems John Boy was having getting the paper printed, right, because of all the pressure on him. So I kind of saw the Ben stuff as being, kind of like maybe A story .2 or something. You know what I mean? Like part of the A story.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. All part of the A story is just a very convoluted A story.
Yeah.
That's another reason I gave it the rating I did. I found it a bit convoluted, this episode.
Yeah, and the fact it didn't include eggnog, according to what Lemon Pie says.
Thank you, Lemon. Lemon's never going to let that running joke die.
No, he loves his eggnog.
Yeah, PvP, you want to read this?
Okay, PvP gives this episode a C for 0 inclusion of eggnog. Yes, that's absolutely it, Lemon.
And he says to me, Mikey gives the episode a B+, sitting spelling errors. What the heck? What are you saying before spelling error?
So I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll.
I think he's saying sighting. I think he's saying sighting, like CITING.
Yeah.
Sighting.
I hope so.
So I ended the poll. I'm gonna give this one here just B plus. Like the bed story was pretty interesting there, and it kind of mixed well with the A story and all that. The Corbett ones, what kind of would drag this episode down, but I like the kind of how you got the corruption there, and then they come to the men's, always. And I thought Olivia acted totally in character. The mother being initially upset that there, but then at the end come to realize that she's acting like a fucking crazy bitch. So I'm giving it a B.
I just don't see Olivia swinging a sledgehammer on a printing press that John Boyce worked so hard. No, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense if you just got to remember that she's a Southern mama who has pride in her family. She's not going to have her family.
Well, she doesn't have any pride in John Boy apparently. If she's going to smash his dreams literally with a hammer.
Okay.
So
the poll results.
Well, Gorilla wins again, I'd say, in the poll.
By North Korean numbers here. Here to hear stupid shit from Gorilla at 54%. A plus A minus is 27%. B plus to B minus is 9%. And C plus to C minus is 9%. There.
So you're saying our B and C grades all pretty much are pieces of crap, and everybody else thought it was a better episode? I don't know, man. What are they watching?
All right. So what was German Girls rating? Did I miss that? I gave it a B. Germ gave it a B.
Yeah.
And I gave it a B plus, and
PvP gave
it a C. Yeah,
I gave it. Somebody else must have given it a C as well, then, right? Because if you and Germ both gave it B's, that's 9%. So
right.
It couldn't be 9% just on my one vote. There had to be
11 votes. And I can't vote in it. I can't vote in it.
There's no telling how many times.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so Germ and me did vote once, and that's the 9 and 9. Okay, I got it now.
Mm-hmm.
Makes perfect sense.
Alrighty. So Germ gives the episode a B because the Astros cheated in 2017. Alrighty. So thank you, Scurvy, for coming. And thank you, Sci-Fi Sit Down, for coming. Germ, you want to promote Sci-Fi Sit Down with what you guys got coming up tonight and on Wednesday and stuff?
Yeah, tonight in about half an hour, we have a few episodes of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime on his second channel. That's a good anime from a couple years ago. We also, on Wednesdays, will be doing Continuum.
Alrighty. So then I gotta mute that other tab here. And thank you, Suzanne, for coming. And thank you, FKHC 2005. He has a few videos on his channel, so make sure to check him out there. And I know we had Boomer in here at one point, did we?
Boomer, yes.
Yeah, I could have sworn Boomer was here.
No, I'm not seeing him, so I guess not. Yeah, so
okay.
So Mikey, promote yourself.
Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to mention that next Friday, the episode is called The Vigil. So that's the next one we got coming up. Well, on Tuesday, really the only thing I want to promote is Tuesday, we're going to have a special night there for Larry because I know that he's going through his heart surgery that day, and we want to keep him in our thoughts and prayers as he undergoes the procedure, and when he goes in late Monday night, and he has to be there all day Tuesday and probably for a few extra days, to recover. So we want to keep him in our memories, definitely for sure next Tuesday. But I got my normal, Monday through Thursday thing, so no big deal on that. So I'm more concerned about my brother. So
Yeah, I'm very concerned. I hope Larry pulls through that smoothly on the first because just losing my cousin losing his wife. I mean that's really hard because I hadn't seen her in like a year because just the way situations work out sometimes, right? And it's hard for me to face the fact that I'm never going to see her again. That's the worst part is I knew her for 43 years and I'm never going to see her again.
Yeah.
It's not easy to deal with, guys.
I agree.
And I know how Mikey feels because you've known Larry for like 50 years, right?
Yeah.
I've known him for exactly 50 years. Yeah. And I told Suzanne, I told my lovely wife, I said, look, if he is a brother. He is connected to my family wholeheartedly. If I lose him, I don't know how I'm going to feel. I might be beside myself. I might even quit my channel.
You might feel a bit like I am the last couple of days because to me Anita was a sister. Every time I'd go over there and we'd have supper, or we'd do a barbecue in the summer, and she'd always give me a big hug, and she'd always cook a great supper for us and whatnot. And I'm gonna miss that lady so damn much.
Yeah, I know. The closest, because when you told me, your cousin and you are, there's a few other family members, obviously, but
we were born 6 months. We were born 6 months apart, so we're basically the same age, and we always have been like brothers. Because I can remember at Christmas when we were like 5 or 6, and we'd be on the floor playing with our Christmas toys, right? And even back that far, my cousin and I were so close. We were basically brothers. I mean, basically,
Yeah. So PvP, what do you got going on?
Well, I've actually uploaded some albums over the last few days because I guess I was so depressed. I wanted to do something productive to take my mind off of it. So I put up the first 3 albums by the British band Mott the Hoople. Yeah, check those out. They're actually very interesting. They're not perfect albums, but they're early, so the band hasn't quite got it all together yet. But they have a lot of good songs on those 3 albums, so check them out.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Jerm. What do you got going on?
Well, Wednesdays we have the round table. Say whatever you want. Algorithm be damned. And on Mondays we have the Monday Monster Movie Watch Party. This week we have Godzilla versus Monster Zero.
All right, thank you. As for me, I may or may not do something tomorrow. It all depends on what the weather's doing. Sunday, we'll have a mystery movie night. Then on Tuesday, we're going to have that stream for Larry. No stream on Thursday or Friday next week. I am going to be out of town.
Okay.
There.
All right.
So we won't have anything. So if anything, I might do something Wednesday. We might start Twilight Zone on Wednesday. Or do you guys want to do the Waltons on Wednesday?
I'm fine with doing the Waltons on Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah, I could watch the Waltons this weekend because I got a couple days now. So
yeah,
Jerm? Wednesday Waltons. That sounds good anyway.
Same time.
Already locked up on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
We got my stream and Dan's stream on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. So no, never mind then. Oh, hey, Switch Bias, what we were just closing up. So we'll figure stuff. I'll figure something out. We'll talk about some later. So with that, you guys have a good night. And remember to be a gorilla.
Keep it stopping.